Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest game changers in modern medicine. Seriously. It's a treatment that took what was once a death sentence and turned it into a manageable condition. And in doing so, it changed millions and millions of lives. We're talking about antiretroviral therapy for HIV and the incredible science that makes it all possible.
But it really makes you wonder, right? How can a daily pill just stop a virus dead in its tracks? How can it completely disarm it to the point where it can't even be passed on to a partner? That's what we're going to get into, because the science here is just, wow, it's fascinating.
So to really get this breakthrough, you first have to understand the weapon we're using. And that weapon is called antiretroviral therapy, or ART for short.
Now, the most important word on this slide is cocktail. ART isn't just one drug. Oh no. It's a really smart, strategic combination of different drugs all working as a team. You got to think of it like a coordinated attack on the virus, not just a one-on-one fight. That right there is the secret to its power.
And here's why that's so brilliant. A typical ART regimen uses at least 3 different drugs, and each one attacks HIV at a totally different stage of its life cycle. So by hitting the virus from all these angles at once, you make it almost impossible for it to mutate and build up a resistance. It's a checkmate strategy, really.
All right, so we've got this drug cocktail. What's its actual mission once it's inside the body? Well, it's got a 2-part mission, really. Suppress the virus and protect the immune system.
So first, ART goes on offense. It suppresses the viral load, which basically means it stops HIV from making copies of itself. It drives the amount of virus in the blood way down. But at the same time, it's playing defense. It's protecting your CD4 cells. Think of these guys as the generals of your immune system's army. HIV loves to target them, but ART acts like their personal bodyguard, keeping their numbers up so your body can still fight off everything else. So the whole point, the absolute clinical goal of this therapy, is to crush the virus so completely that a standard blood test can't even find it anymore. The target is to become undetectable. And that word is the key to this whole story.
But, and this is a huge but, getting to that undetectable status and staying there, it all hinges on one simple thing: consistency. Which brings us to the stakes, because the price for stopping this medication, or even just being inconsistent with it, is incredibly high.
It's a really dangerous domino effect. It all starts when doses get skipped. Right away, the virus roars back to life and starts multiplying like crazy. And as it does that, it starts killing off those critical CD4 cells, so the immune system weakens. This gives the virus a chance to mutate, to learn how to fight the drugs. And that whole chain reaction can ultimately lead to the progression of the disease to AIDS.
And you know, there's a hard line in the sand. Progression to AIDS is clinically defined by your CD4 count dropping below 200. That number means the immune system is severely compromised. It leaves a person wide open to all sorts of life-threatening infections. So yeah, the stakes are as high as they get.
Okay, but let's flip that around. What happens when the therapy works perfectly? What happens when someone is consistent and their viral load becomes and stays undetectable? Well, this is where the story pivots from risk and danger to an absolutely profound, life-changing breakthrough.
And this brings us right back to that question we started with. If the virus is so suppressed that you can't even find it in a blood test, can it still be transmitted to a sexual partner? Is it still a threat?
And the answer, backed by massive worldwide scientific studies, is a clear and absolute no. This is the U equals U message. Undetectable equals untransmittable. If a person with HIV is on effective treatment and keeps an undetectable viral load, there is zero risk, let me say that again, zero risk of sexually transmitting the virus to a partner. That is a revolutionary fact.
So what does this actually mean for people's lives? It means everything. It means intimacy without fear. It means mothers who are living with HIV can safely breastfeed their babies without worry. And maybe most powerfully, it just shatters decades of stigma and misinformation, empowering people with the knowledge that they can live full, healthy lives and keep their loved ones completely safe.
But it is so important to remember this. ART is a treatment. It's not a cure. The virus is clever. It can hide out in the body in places called reservoirs, and that's why staying undetectable, and therefore untransmittable, depends completely on taking that medication consistently, for life. If someone stops treatment, the virus comes back and so does the risk. Consistency is literally everything.
So, here's where we'll leave it. The science is settled. A person on effective treatment cannot pass on HIV, which leaves us with a question that's less about the lab and more about us, about our communities.
Now that we've found a way to stop the virus medically, what's it going to take to finally stop the stigma that still surrounds it? That's the next big fight.